Greetings, everybody. Welcome back to Weekly Wildlife Wisdom. As so far, I've been your host, Zero Yeti, and happy spooky season. This year for Halloween, I thought it'd be neat to ask a bunch of my friends and colleagues what animals scare them, and then throw them into videos for the series. This is probably the first of part one of two or three videos on this. Without further ado, let's go get started with an animal I'm personally afraid of, and for fairly decent reasons. That more of, I guess, less afraid, and more of very wary of, and recognize how dangerous and crazy they are. And that is the chimpanzee, also known simply as the chimp. It is a species of great ape native throughout much of equatorial Africa, where they live in a wide variety of habitats, including savanna, rainforests, montane forests, swamps, and dry woodlands. As a social species, chimps live in groups of 15 to 150 members, which have a strict male dominant hierarchy where disputes are generally settled without much violence, and the bulk of their diet is comprised of fruit, leaves, seeds, blossoms, stems, bark, and sap. However, nearly all chimpanzee populations have been recorded using tools, specifically modifying sticks, rocks, grasses, and leaves to use them to gather honey, insects, crack nuts, gather water. They're also known to craft wooden spears, which they use to hunt birds and small mammals such as duikers, warthogs, red river hogs, bush bucks, bush babies, baboons, and colobus and red-tailed monkeys. Chimps are themselves occasionally preyed upon by leopards, lions, large pythons, and large hyenas. Chimps stand around 4 to 5 feet tall when on their hind legs, with males being slightly heavier at around 80 to 150 pounds in weight compared to females at 60 to 110. They sport long, powerful arms and hands and feet designed for climbing and grasping, with opposable thumbs and big toes that are also opposable. Coarse hair covers much of the body and is typically black or brown in color, but may be ginger, gray, white, or a mixture as the animal ages. Chimpanzees are promiscuous animals, with both males and females having multiple partners throughout their lifetime. Mating occurs year-round, and after an 8-month pregnancy, mothers typically give birth to a single infant, which will remain by their mother's side until they reach around 4 years of age. They will also additionally remain with their birth clan until around 10 years of age, at which point females will leave in search of an unrelated group, while males typically remain with their original family. Under ideal conditions, a chimpanzee may live upwards of 35 years. Next up is an animal that freaks Auramaster out, which is Gigatitan, which is an extinct genus of Titanotopteran insect that lived throughout what is now Kyrgyzstan, from the Landian of the Middle Triassic to the Carnian of the Late Triassic period, some 242 to 227 million years ago. The first remains of Gigatitan, consisting of a remarkably preserved, almost complete individual, were unearthed and described by Soviet paleontologist Alexander Grigorovich Sharov in 1968, with the genus name Gigatitan meaning giant titans, referring to the unusually large size of the specimens found. Today, 3 species are considered valid: G. extensis, G. magnificus, and G. vulgaris. Reaching 7 to 10 inches in length and sporting a 13 to 16-inch wingspan, Gigatitan ranks amongst the largest insects to have ever lived, and is really only being surpassed in scale by those that lived throughout the Carboniferous period. In fact, Gigatitan was so massive that it has been suggested that it wasn't able to actually fly, and instead used its wings to glide from tree to tree. In life, it would have looked like a giant mayfly with a katydid-like head and much larger antennae. The forelegs were large and bore sharp spines similar to those of praying mantises. The wings were large and had distinct fluting. This fluting could have been rubbed by the hind limbs to produce sound similar to the chirping of crickets, allowing the animals to communicate with one another across vast distances. The ovipositor of the Gigatitan has sharp ridges similar to the early Carboniferous insect Uranus. In life, Gigatitan would have inhabited swamps, upland forests, and lowland forests, where it likely sported a similar lifestyle to modern praying mantises, living as a diurnal and boreal predator, feeding upon other arthropods, amphibians, synapsids, and various reptiles, possibly including baby dinosaurs. Next up is the dingo, also known as Canis familiaris dingo, and Canis dingo or Canis lupus dingo, is an ancient basal lineage of dog that is native throughout mainland Australia. This one also freaks out Horrormaster. He says he doesn't trust them because they look too much like regular dogs. Its taxonomic classification is debated as indicated by the variety of scientific names, with different organizations considering it a form of domestic dog, a subspecies of wolf, or a full species in its own right. It is believed that the ancestors of modern dingoes were brought to Australia by indigenous Australians at least 8,300 years ago, if not sooner. Well, if not earlier. Dingoes are social animals that live in family packs of up to 12 members, although they also may live alone or in groups of 2 to 4 unrelated individuals. They are remarkably adaptable and inhabit most of Australia's ecosystems, including temperate forests, rainforests. Excuse me. That's my stomach being weird. Alpine highlands, deserts, coastlines, and wetlands where they act as apex predators, feeding upon magpie geese, kangaroos, wallabies, feral cattle, water buffalo, feral rabbits, possums, wombats, rats, penguins, lizards, fish, seals, and waterfowl. Dingoes are themselves occasionally preyed upon by crocodiles, sharks, and wedge-tailed eagles. Average around 1.5 to 2 feet tall at the shoulder, 4 to 4.5 feet in length, and 30 to 40 pounds in weight, the dingo is a medium-sized canine with a lean, hardy body that is adapted for speed, agility, and stamina. The head is the widest part of the animal. It is wedge-shaped and large in proportion to the body. The coat is typically a sandy ginger in color, but depending on the individual may be black, tan, brindle, creamy white, or a mixture of the above. The mating season typically occurs in Australia between March and May, and after a 61 to 69 day pregnancy, mothers give birth to 1 to 10 pups. Said pups will remain with their parents until they reach sexual maturity around 1 to 3 years of age. Under ideal conditions, a dingo may live up to 16 years. Next up is Daeodon, which is very fitting for Halloween as it's known as the hell pig. Is an extinct genus of entelodont even-toed ungulates that inhabit North America from the late Oligocene to the early Miocene, some 29 to 16 million years ago. The first remains of Daeodon, consisting of several teeth and a lower jaw, were described by the paleontologist Edward Drinker Cope in 1878, who named it Daeodon, coming from the Greek words daeos, meaning hostile or dreadful, and odon, meaning teeth. He classified it as a perissodactyl and thought it was closely related to Medotus. This classification persisted until the description of Elotherium calcinsi in 1905, a very similar but more complete animal from the same rocks, which was promptly assigned as a genus of Daeodon by Dr. Peterson in 1909. This led to Daeodon's reclassification as a member of the family Entelodontidae, a group related to both modern pigs and hippos. Over the years, several more specimens of Daeodon, including a complete skeleton, have been found, and today 2 species are considered valid, D. schossenensis and D. humerosum. Reaching 5.5 to 6 feet tall at the shoulder, 9 to 12 feet in length, and 5 to 6 tons in weight, Daeodon is amongst the largest known entelodont. And it sported a massive head with powerful jaws, with the skull alone being upwards of 3 feet in length. It had a short, stocky body with long, slender limbs, ending in 2 hoofed toes on each foot. In life, Daeodon would have inhabited the dry grasslands of North America, acting as an opportunistic mega omnivore, feeding upon vegetation such as nuts, fruits, roots, and vines, but also upon meat and bone, particularly carrion, which it would often have stolen from other smaller predators. However, with its bison-like adaptations for running, stereoscopic vision, characteristic of predators, and a highly developed sense of smell and bone-crushing bite, Daeodon was more than capable of taking down its own prey, such as basically any creature it shared its habitat with. The Guti sapphire tarantula, also known as the peacock tarantula, the sapphire tarantula, or the Guti tarantula, is a critically endangered Old World species of tarantula and the only blue species in its genus Poecilotheria. They are a nocturnal and arboreal species native to the deciduous forests of the Andhra Pradesh in central southern India. Here, the Guti tarantula lives in holes in tall trees where it makes asymmetrical funnel webs and can often be found living in communities of half a dozen or more spiders. They feed primarily upon flying insects as well as the occasional boring grub or worm. It is a skittish photosensitive species that will try to flee at first when exposed to light. However, they are known to bite if severely provoked. While the Guti tarantula has never killed anyone, it does possess medically significant venom, and it can be characterized by intense pain, increased heart rate, sweating, headache, stinging, cramping, and or swelling, which can persist up to a week. The mechanical effects of the bite are also fairly severe, as the adult's fangs can reach nearly 3/4 of an inch in length. The spiders themselves can reach 6 to 8 inches in size, and they sport a similar intricate geometric body coloration as other Poecilotheria species, but is the only species in the genus to be covered in blue hair. And as with other tarantulas with blue hair, these vivid colors are produced by quasi-periodic perforated multi-layer nanostructures that reflect light. And then, under ideal conditions, a male Guti tarantula may live 3 to 5 years, while females can live up to 15. Next up is Procoptodon, which is an extinct genus of cephorine short-faced kangaroos that lived throughout Australia during the Pleistocene epoch from around 1.8 million years ago until 18,000 years ago. Having first been described in 1873, today 8 species are considered valid, being P. rapha, P. goliath, P. browniorium, P. mccoy, P. gilly, P. posio, P. aureus, and P. williamsi. These ranged in size from the 3 to 3.5 foot tall, 30 to 50 pound P. gilly to the massive 6.5 to 8.5 feet tall, 450 to 550 pound P. goliath, which ranks amongst the largest marsupials to ever exist. Procoptodon had an unusual appearance with a relatively flat face and huge, deep-set jaw muscles for grinding up vegetation. It sported long, rake-like claws on each forepaw, which may have been used to pull down branches within eating distance as well as for interspecific combat and as a defense against predators. Its feet were reduced to a single hoof digit, suggesting it bore its weight on its tiptoes in an unguligrade manner. This adaptation was incredibly necessary, as unlike modern kangaroos, Procoptodon and some of its other cephorine relatives were completely unable to hop and instead moved bipedally in a striding gait similar to hominids. In life, Procoptodon would have inhabited a niche of high browser, feeding upon shrubs and tall trees of Pleistocene Australia, where it lived alongside various other oddities such as the demon duck Dromornis, horned tortoise Meolania, terrestrial crocodile Quincana, Tasmanian tiger Thylacine, car-sized wombat relative Diprotodon, marsupial lion Thylacoleo, and the real-life dragon Megalania. Next up, we have the orca, also known as the killer whale, is a toothed whale belonging to the oceanic dolphin family Delphinidae, and the only extant species in the genus Orcinus. A cosmopolitan species, orcas can be found throughout all the world's oceans in a variety of marine environments, from the Arctic to the Antarctic regions to the tropical seas. Orcas have a diverse diet, although individual populations often specialize in a particular type of prey. Some feed exclusively on small fish and invertebrates, others on large fish such as tuna, stingrays, and sharks, while others hunt aquatic prey and aquatic birds and reptiles such as penguins, gulls, and sea turtles. Others still hunt marine mammals such as otters, seals, sea lions, and other species of dolphins, and some pods have even specialized in hunting of large baleen and toothed whales. They are a highly social species, with some populations being comprised of very stable matrilineal family pods of 5 to 30 individuals. Their sophisticated hunting techniques and vocal behaviors, which are often specific to a particular group and passed across generations, have been described as examples of animals having culture. Orcas are the largest extant members of the dolphin family, with males typically reaching larger sizes than females at 20 to 26 feet in length and 5 to 7 tons in weight, compared to females at 16 to 23 feet in length and 3 to 5 tons in weight. Orcas can be easily recognized by their tall dorsal fins and black and white patterned body. Breeding may occur year-round, with females giving birth to a single calf after a 15 to 18-month pregnancy. Calves remain with by their mother's side for at least 5 years and may remain with their birth pod for the rest of their life. Under ideal conditions, an orca will reach sexual maturity around 10 to 15 years of age and may live upwards of 80 years. As always, take care of my guys, gals, and my binary pals. Have a good Halloween.